Ladies, let's get one thing straight. If a man is ignoring you, it's not your job to shrink. It's your moment to shine. We live in a world where power begins with presence, and your presence is not a privilege, it's a gift. You don't chase, you don't beg, you level up. When someone doesn't value you, that's your cue, not your crisis. You walk away, head high, heels on, heart intact, because when you're ignored, you're being redirected. To better, to more, to you. When someone you care about ignores you, the first instinct is often to wonder, what did I do wrong? But that question misplaces the focus. The real power lies in reminding yourself that your value does not decrease based on someone else's inability to see it. You are not here to convince anyone of your worth. You are not designed to shrink just to fit into someone else's limited vision. Your energy, your time, your love, they are precious. If someone chooses not to acknowledge them, that says everything about their awareness and nothing about your essence. In a world that constantly tries to tell women to be smaller, quieter, or more agreeable just to be chosen, choosing yourself becomes a radical act. When a man ignores you, it's not a signal to try harder. It's an opportunity to realign. Look inward. Reinvest that emotional energy into your own growth, your dreams, your passions. Your value is not determined by how much attention you receive, but by how deeply you know and honor yourself. That confidence, it's magnetic. When you treat yourself like you're worth everything, others are forced to recognize that or get left behind, so don't spiral, don't chase, don't lower your frequency to match silence. Instead, return to your power, get clear on who you are, set boundaries, set standards, and refuse to settle for anything that doesn't recognize your brilliance. The moment you start treating yourself like the main character in your life, you'll realize being ignored isn't rejection, it's redirection. Towards better, there's a quiet power in choosing not to chase attention, especially when it's withheld. When someone pulls away, your worth isn't up for debate, and your response doesn't need to be desperation or over-explanation. In fact, the strongest response is often no response at all. Chasing attention sends a message, not just to the other person, but to yourself. It says their validation matters more than your peace, that their presence defines your importance. And that couldn't be further from the truth. You don't need to convince anyone to value you. Real connections don't require constant performance or pleading. They recognize your presence and reciprocate it willingly. Let silence speak. Let distance reveal intentions. If someone is ignoring you, pulling away, or treating you as an afterthought, that's information, not an invitation. You are not a side story in someone else's life. You are your own story, and anyone lucky enough to be part of it should show up without games, without mixed signals, without hesitation. Choosing not to chase is about reclaiming your emotional dignity. It's about saying, I deserve consistency, not confusion. You conserve your energy, protect your heart, and create space for people who are truly aligned with your value. You are not here to beg for crumbs when you offer a feast. When you stop chasing, something incredible happens. You start attracting. People are drawn to those who know their worth, who hold their ground, and who don't compromise self-respect for temporary attention. Attention fades, but self-respect, that lasts. Silence can feel loud when it comes from someone you care about. It stings, confuses, and often leaves you spiraling with questions. But what if, instead of fearing the silence, you used it as fuel? Silence is space, and space can be powerful if you choose to fill it with purpose rather than pain. When someone stops showing up, it gives you the perfect opening to show up for yourself. That silence isn't a void, it's a canvas. Use it to reflect, to heal, to realign. Let it be the beginning of your glow up, not your breakdown. Redirect the energy you once poured into trying to understand their absence into building your presence. Invest in your growth, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Reconnect with what makes you feel alive. Explore your passions, strengthen your body, nurture your mind, create, learn, evolve. People often fear silence because it forces them to sit with themselves. But that solitude is where transformation begins. The woman who emerges from that silence isn't broken. She's wiser, sharper, and more grounded in who she is. She doesn't wait for someone to come back with answers. She finds clarity within. Silence reveals what words sometimes hide. It shows you who was never really present, who only showed up for convenience, and who was never equipped to match your energy. And once you see that clearly, You'll never settle for noise without meaning again. So don't rush to fill the quiet. Let it speak, let it teach you, and then let it fuel you to rise stronger than before. When someone pulls away or chooses to ignore you, it's easy to let their actions shape how you see yourself. You start building stories in your mind, asterisk, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I said too much. Maybe I should have done more. Asterisk, but here's the truth. The story doesn't belong to them. It belongs to you. You are the author, and you get to control the narrative. Letting someone else's silence define your worth is like handing them the pen to your life. Take it back. You decide what this moment means. Is it rejection, or is it redirection? Is it abandonment, or is it clarity? You get to choose. Rewriting the narrative doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It means being honest about your feelings, but refusing to let pain become your identity. It means saying, asterisk, yes, that hurt. Yes, I deserved more, but I will not let this experience make me smaller. Asterisk, you don't let the story end with someone walking away. You continue it with how you rise. People will always have their perceptions, their judgments, and their actions. But their version of you isn't the truth. It's a reflection of their own limitations. You are not what someone failed to see in you. You are who you choose to become even after they walked away. So speak your truth. Define your own meaning. Turn the chapter not with bitterness, but with boldness. Don't wait to be validated in someone else's story. Take the lead in your own, because the most powerful thing you can ever do when someone ignores you is to remind the world that your voice writes louder than their silence. Rejection is one of the most painful emotions we experience. It triggers self-doubt, bruises the ego, and can make us question our worth. But what if you change the way you saw it? What if rejection isn't a punishment, but a powerful redirection? When someone ignores you, walks away, or decides you're not what they're looking for, it's easy to internalize it. But rejection doesn't mean you weren't enough. It often means that person wasn't aligned with your purpose, your energy, or your path. Sometimes the universe removes people not to hurt you, but to make space for better connections, deeper love, and stronger growth. It's not about fixing yourself to fit someone else's version of enough. It's about realizing that not every door is meant to open, and that's a blessing. Think of every time you were ignored or overlooked as a test. Will you collapse into the rejection, or will you rise into your worth? By redefining rejection, you take back your power. You stop seeing it as the end and start seeing it as a beginning, a clean slate, a shift, a signal that there's something more meant for you. Something that doesn't make you beg for attention or question your value. Some of the most powerful moments in life come after being told no. That no pushes you to evolve, to redirect your focus, to build yourself into someone who doesn't just bounce back, but breaks through. So when you face rejection, feel it, but don't live in it. Rewrite its meaning. Rejection isn't personal, it's protection, it's redirection. It's the universe saying, asterisk, not here, but keep going. Asterisk, there comes a point when you realize no one is coming to save you. Not the person who ghosted you, not the one who made promises and disappeared, not the fantasy you built in your head. And in that moment, instead of breaking down, you rise, because the most powerful thing you can ever do is become your own hero. Waiting for someone else to validate your worth is like handing them control over your happiness. But real confidence, the unshakable, grounded kind, comes when you decide that asterisk you asterisk are enough, just as you are. You stop waiting for the apology that may never come. You stop hoping they'll notice the effort you poured in. You stop chasing closure and start creating peace. Being your own hero means picking yourself up when it would be easier to fall apart. It means protecting your heart, standing by your boundaries, and choosing yourself even when others don't. It's not about becoming cold or emotionless. It's about becoming whole, fully, unapologetically, and fiercely whole. You are not here to be rescued. You are not here to be chosen after someone else realizes your worth. You are here to live, to lead, and to love yourself in a way that sets the standard for how others treat you. The day you stop waiting for someone to show up for you and decide to show up for yourself is the day everything changes. You stop being the background character in someone else's story. You step into the spotlight of your own, not because someone saved you, but because you saved yourself.